Hello there, and welcome to the Bearded Peacock. It's my channel where we talk all things Leeds United. And we're back again. I don't think I've done one for a few days, certainly probably sometime last week, wasn't it? A Rumours Round Leeds video. This is like I'm going to call it Peacocks in the Present, this one. It's not a rumours one. There's plenty of rumours going about, particularly those of a Seville or a Sevilla persuasion now, particularly a few Leeds players. I don't know the credibility of these sources, but some are now linked with moves to Seville. I wonder why that is. When we talk about things that are Leeds United, um, on this, on the way for Leeds United now. That's in the past. Obviously, I think you all know what I'm alluding to with that news today, but it is nothing to do with Leeds. There are rumours circulating, continue to circulate, with players, mainly outgoings. Until what we're speaking about today is sorted, then it will only be outgoings. I think hopefully it's sorted by the end of the week. We all know what I'm talking about here is the manager search, which is supposedly coming to the end at the end of the week. You know what Leeds United are like as well as I do. That end of the week probably means sometime, probably Monday, Tuesday next week. Look, I think Phil Hayes, obviously, reliable source, isn't he? Writes for the Athletic. There was an article, he wrote an article for the Athletic today, saying that interviews are now taking place in London. I don't know if it was today or in the next day or so for the next manager position. Now, there's supposedly three candidates left now. One is Daniel Farke, who has been linked for a long time now. One is Scott Parker, who has also been linked for a good long time. And one is a relatively new name on the list, of linked managers in Patrick Vieira. Now, those lads are supposedly have had face-to-face interviews with Angus Kinnear and Parag Marath in London. Whether it's happened over the last couple of days or in the next couple of days, who knows? But Phil says that basically they want it tied up by the end of the week. That leaves them 3 days to get the themselves into gear and get this manager situation sorted. Now, let me know in the comments what you're thinking about those three names. Now, of course, there is there is the idea that maybe one might come from completely out the blue, and they might just let him have it. Maybe is there an idea that they had these three guys, Farke, Parker, and Vieira, waiting in the wings, as a maybe potential option? Are they going to impress us more than this mystery manager? But I think it's probably down to them three now. Corberan, who I think was many fans' choice, not mine, but many fans seem to like the idea of him coming in. He's off the list, I think, now due to Leeds not wanting to pay his 2.5 million release clause from his West Bromwich Albion contract. I think that's right. So he's not coming. Let me know your thoughts on that. Obviously, Daniel Farke and Scott Parker have championship proven promotions. Obviously, I think Farke has both of them, obviously with Norwich, and Parker with Fulham and Bournemouth. So yeah, I mean, do you go with one of them two? I mean, Scott Parker failed miserably at Brugge, didn't he? But he still managed for a bit in the Champions League as well. Daniel Farke again didn't do so well with Mönchengladbach, but last season. But again, different sort of standards of managers. For me, um, we'll talk about Vieira in a second, but for me, Daniel Farke, even out of the three of them, is probably the safest option. There, he says in the article, does Phil, that they're looking for a safe pair of hands. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, but they're looking for somebody that knows the division and everything like that. Now Vieira doesn't. but he does know the English game. Obviously, spent 18 months with Crystal Palace. For many Palace fans, I think he was unlucky to lose his job. He did come under. They went on a terrible run without a win. Crystal Palace did last season, which eventually, eventually, if I can speak properly, saw him sacked. But they had an incredible hard run of games. But yeah, he was sacked. He was favourite or amongst the favourites to take Jesse Marsh's job when he was sacked from Leeds in February. Maybe, this is my thinking. I think Farke could be out those three men. Farke would be the obvious, probably maybe safer choice, possibly. I think Parker as well is relatively safe, but isn't as good as Farke. You know, got them promoted and things like that. But where's the long term plan? This is what I mean when I say that Farke and Parker both failed in the Premier League, didn't they? When they got the respective teams up there. Parker twice, really, and look at the job that Gary O'Neill did. Obviously, he's been sacked now, but look at the job he did to keep Bournemouth up. Look at where they were when Parker was starting the season in the Premier League with them. Getting absolutely hammered off Liverpool and things like this. Didn't start well at all. Gary O'Neill picked them up and, unfortunately for him, has been sacked. But seems very harsh, that one. But Areola obviously takes charge of them. Yeah, Parker, not for me. And I think you'd ask many fans and they'd say the same. With Fulham, again, yes, did well in the Championship, got them promoted through the playoffs, but failed miserably and got relegated in the Premier League. And you think, what are we going to do if we get promoted, which was obviously the aim? Where do we go from there? Do we, are we wanting to change manager again in 12-month time? Where's the sort of long term plan? Because that isn't one. That definitely isn't one. And both Farke and Parker, or Farke and Barker, I think it's Farke, isn't it? Daniel Farke. Both can't seem to hack it properly in the Premier League. So, and Vieira, for me, showed that he can compete in the Premier League. Obviously, like I said, a bad run of results last time out. So for his sacking was a difficult period. Obviously, period of matches in a row. Difficult. It's difficult in the Premier League. But I think maybe given a bit more time, Vieira would have possibly turned it round. And yeah, I think this is my thinking. 49ers, I think, wanted Vieira, in February. Although they didn't make, official any official kind of contact with him, I think they'd have wanted him. That's where those reports came from. The problem was the man that we've already not named but spoken about, and I'm sure you all guys know who I'm speaking about. The problem in the whole, I think, was him. He wanted his boy Glacier in, and then so with them at that point, the 49ers not having full control of the club, they didn't have the final say. Now they have the final say. I think it'll be Patrick Vieira that gets the nod, and I'm not sure. Again, these guys, I know Farke is a sort of 4-2-3-1 man, isn't he? I don't really know much more about the other two in terms of the way that they play. Somebody would like to let me know in the comments. I'd be very much appreciative of that. Or maybe there's some Palace or Bournemouth or Fulham fans watching, perhaps. But I think Patrick Vieira is going to get the job, and would I be happy with that? Yes, I would. I think Vieira, promising coach, hasn't managed before in the Championship, but that doesn't matter to me. I don't know why people bang on so much about this. We wanted to get out of there. Bielsa didn't have no experience of the championship before. You know, neither did Vincent Kompany, and he's just won it at a canter, hasn't he, with Burnley? So it's not always about experience of the league, and I really hate that sort of stigma of it. It doesn't matter, you know. If he gets them playing good football and believing in themselves and camaraderie around the squad, then we'll do well. It doesn't matter what division you're in. He's got some decent managerial um, and coaching experience. I also believe that maybe he would bring along Thierry Henry possibly as a coach. Maybe. Obviously they're big friends, aren't they? Maybe he would. I don't know, but that's my opinion. Vieira as manager, Henry as assistant. That's my opinion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments there below. And when will we see this manager search ending? Looks like it's close to completion now. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks as always for watching. Marching on together, and I'll see you on the next one.